What's up, SASS Squad? You're locked into season 2 of the Sport and Society Squad Pod, aka the SASS. We drop new episodes every 2 weeks to keep you in the loop on the biggest and boldest moments where sport meets society. So gear up and get ready to dive deep into the stories that matter most, at least to us. As a quick reminder, this pod might feature some spicy language and bold takes. Please be mindful of where and who you are listening with. So, with that, let's kick it off. I'm Wahida. I'm here with co-host Arisan. Chelsea is out there in the world somewhere, but how are we doing today, Arisan?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy New Year. Glad to be back
Yeah.
with you all. Not enjoying this rain and feeling of 22 degrees outside. So, whatever. Tis the season in the Pacific Northwest for rainy January. But I'm going to take us through this week's huddle, which will cover sport and society highlights from the past 2+ weeks. So you, our listeners, feel like you are in the know with the sports and pop culture world. No deep dives, just the hits you need to know to stay in the loop. So let's kick off with the top sports moments. And with that, the Seattle Seahawks clinched the number 1 seed this last weekend against the 49ers, earning them a first round bye going into the playoffs. So, woo!
Yeah.
Fun fact, apparently the last 3 times a new pope was selected, we were the number 1 seed and went to the Super Bowl. So I feel like
I
fingers
feel good.
across, I think that's a really good sign.
Talk about blessings, too. The defensive line, I think, just got re-signed for like a large contract, the entire line. So, blessings
They're
all around, and
they're
I feel good
stoked.
about it. I feel
Yes.
good about it.
In some not so fun NFL news, it's that time of the season where teams are reconsidering their coaching staff, and several coaches were just released from their teams yesterday, unfortunately, including our former Seattle Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll after 1 year with the Raiders, which is super sad. We love you, Pete.
Love you, Pete.
And I don't know what to say about that,
I know
but
somebody said, let's have him raise the flag at our next game.
oh, I love that. He's 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 a real one.
He is a real one.
I also, in sad NFL news, lost our fantasy league. I am the biggest
Really?
loser. Yes. Remember how I was complaining at the
Yeah.
beginning of like I just barely missed playoffs
Yeah.
and now I was
You
the
just
biggest
dropped
loser.
all of
I
them.
just I just went from like almost making it to playoffs to being the very last in the
So
league. So,
that just means you need to run the league next year.
yeah, that's the trick. In hockey news, this is exciting. Layla Edwards is about to make history as the first Black woman to play ice hockey for Team USA in the Winter Olympics.
That's so exciting.
Shout out to
And
Layla.
the hockey team is nice, right? Like our hockey team is nice.
Women's, yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so. Well,
Yes.
and like T minus like less than 30 days until the Winter
Opening
Olympics,
ceremony.
yeah, kicks off.
That's exciting.
In additional Olympic news, January 14th is the day registration for the LA 2028 Olympic ticket draw opens. So mark your calendar if you're even a little bit interested in trying to snag Olympic tickets when Olympics comes to the US. I signed up.
Oh,
I
I
put
was gonna say,
you
are you
can't sign up obviously right now because you have to wait till January 14th, but you can subscribe to the email list to be
get
the first to
reminded?
get notified. And as much as I'm like, I will get free tickets. I'm like, you know what? Just put your name on the list. You don't have to, it doesn't make you commit to buying a ticket,
That's
but
true. How does it work though? Do you select like what games or what types of sports you want to go see, or do they just say like, here, you can go to this game?
well, it sounds like it's like a lottery draw. So this is first one is a lottery draw that you on January 14th saying I'm interested in tickets regardless. And then the actual
Oh,
ticket buying starts to happen later in 2026 when you could
got you.
actually probably be a little bit more
Pick
specific. But
who you
this is
want to
just to
see.
say, "Hey, I'm interested in, like," and I want the opportunity to potentially
That
buy tickets.
blows my mind. Like this is just to get in line to buy tickets.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
You have to get in line to get in
good luck
line.
to you, girl.
Nafisa Collier, founder of Unrivaled and WNBA disruptor, announced she will be out for 6 months due to double ankle surgery. So she will miss all of the Unrivaled season and potentially beginning of WNBA season, but we're wishing her a speedy recovery.
Yes, we are. Her ankles are probably tired from stepping on people's necks. So go ahead and let them know.
Hey, tell them
The rest, girl.
the A's. This is baseball for
Yeah.
friends that don't know. The A's have been denied trademarks for Las Vegas Athletics and Vegas Athletics by U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how they approach this because that's allegedly where that team is supposed to be going. So what are you going to call them? They can be the
Mm.
Nevada Athletics? Like, what's happening here? I don't know.
Oh, is it because athletics is no longer, they have to change their name? I
I
just
don't
thought they
know.
should never have left Oakland. That's sad.
Yeah,
All
agreed.
right. Now let's kick it over to the society side of things. This is interesting to me. Ashley Tisdale wrote a letter in the cut saying she left a toxic mom group that made her feel not cool and left her out of things and didn't invite her to things. And apparently, that mom group included Hillary Duff, Megan Trainor, and Mandy Moore. What are you? I know this is a huddle, but what are your thoughts on this? Because
I
I,
I have a hard time believing that Hillary Duff and Mandy Moore are like exclusionary or like they are mean girls. I have a hard time believing that. But that's just my perspective on what I know of them and I don't know
mm,
much because all I see is their public persona, right?
yeah.
So, who knows?
Well, and apparently in the article, she was saying, like, "Don't try to guess who these women are." She was
Oh.
kinda more of like a, I think maybe like an exodus clearing for herself,
Well,
but she
why
said
publish it?
well, and yeah, that was my thing of like, why make this a whole article? But 2, she was saying these women aren't bad women, and then I think there was like, but I think there's one bad woman.
Okay.
So she was like, "These aren't like," and having been part of a toxic friend group where one person can be super toxic and, like, make the whole group, like,
Like
influence
cancerous.
that, like, I
Yeah.
understand that, like, feeling, but I just thought it was interesting that she wrote an article about it, but if that's what she's got to do to be cathartic, I guess.
You know, I usually write those things down and burn them, but,
Yeah,
each
like,
their own.
maybe she needed some validation. Talk about the end of an era. Stranger Things aired its final episode on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, whatever. The first episode aired in 2016, and this has been a 10-year cultural phenomenon, and if I'm being honest, I do think it changed the fabric of our world because I believe we are living in the upside down right now.
Oh, mhm. I
It feels
haven't
like a
followed it since probably season 2, but yeah, I
same.
agree. I agree. This is some alternate
There's
reality.
some
But
alternate that I feel this feels upside down, like the world
totally. Oh my god. Get me out of here, for real.
Right. This past weekend at the Critic Choice Awards was hosted by Chelsea Handler, and we have some announcement of winners. One battle after another won Best Picture. Jessie Buckley won for Best Actress for Hamnet.
Mm,
Timothy Chalamet is what is what my autocorrect said. Chalamet won for Best Actor for Marty Supreme, and Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress for Weapons, and Jacob Elordi won Best Supporting Actor for Frankenstein. And then Owen Cooper and Miles Canton also took home awards.
a
So
lot of Gen
congrats.
Zs.
Yes, I was like, "There's a lot of people I don't recognize. Does that make
Yeah.
me old?" I also heard that they presented some folks awards on the red carpet, like the pre-awards
Oh.
from the show, and then it didn't fully land well because it was kind of like, "Here's your award," as they're
Yeah.
walking red
They're not
carpet.
part of the main show. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
feel like I saw something too where they last year presented 2 awards at the same time, like Best Supporting Actress and Actor at the same time, like, both of them came on stage, and that like, the 2 winners obviously made fun of it, like, they spoke over each other and
Yeah.
everything, but I think the Critics' Choice Award is just trying because it's probably one of the lesser viewed
Y
award shows, they're trying to do what they can to, garner more viewership, but
yeah.
Interesting, because I
Yeah.
feel like it sets the tone for the rest of the season.
Yeah, because Golden Globes is, like, next week,
Yeah.
so, anyways, speaking of the silver screen, rumors are swirling about the casting of a few legendary characters. Damson Idris is rumored to be the next Black Panther in Marvel's next Avenger installment, and Mr. Dua Lipa himself is in the talks to play the next Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, I kinda like him for Bond.
I mean, I do too, I'm not mad about it. I was hoping Damson Idris would be the next Bond. Like,
Yes. Well, that's
let's
because,
switch it
like,
up a little
years
bit.
ago, Idris Elba
Yeah,
was like he would be I
right.
felt like I saw a interview where someone was like, "How does it feel to be the Bond character even though you were never casted to be the Bond character?" And he was like, "I don't know."
He's like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
But he would have been great. I think Damson would be great too, but, I mean, Black Panther is also
Yes. I
pretty
think
dope.
it's also crazy that I thought the Avengers was done forever, but joke's on me. That
Girl,
is
that's gonna
something that
outlast the copper
all of us yes. Alright. And here's something to add to your next grocery list if you wanna be on trend.
Mm,
Trader Joe's canvas bags are reselling like hotcakes in Australia, Korea, and Japan. The bags are going for $10,000 in their local currency.
you know.
So it's not as much. Korean won, I think that's like almost $7 on sites like Depop and eBay. But I think this is a really interesting
Trend.
trend,
Yeah.
international trend. There
I
felt like there
mean
was something not too long ago that was similar, like a grocery bag or a sardines bag or something like over the
I
summer. Maybe
mean
it was 2 summers ago, but
What was it? There was a department store where they had, the bag, like the small bag, the big bag.
Mhm.
Those were popular, I think, for a long time, but the Trader Joe's bags blows my mind because I have, like, 20 of them. So it's the first time I've been ahead on a trend.
You're
And
international,
I
Wahida.
feel I feel so cool right now.
Yeah, you are so cool. I'm like, I don't have, like, the canvas one. I think I did at one point, and I used it till it was so dirty, and I was like, "Well,
Well, I mean,
they're not very cute to me." So
that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like
yeah.
what bags? I forget. They're like, you're supposed to wear them down.
Yeah.
You're supposed to use them. That is the sign of luxury and wealth, if you will. But what a huddle. That's a wild one to end on. But if you have those canvas bags, you might want to pull them out because after this week's story,
Mhm.
we might be selling whatever we can to hold on. But this week, we are going to talk a little bit about healthcare in
Mhm.
sports, of course. This is already a sassy topic, so you can believe that this conversation is going to get a little sassy too. So, as you may recall, last episode we talked about Philip Rivers, the 44-year-old who
Mhm.
the father of a small village. He suited up for 4 games with the Indianapolis Colts. He had a short stint, and wasn't anything flashy at all. He just came back, did his thing, and then now the season for him is over. But those 4 games really mattered because they reactivated this his NFL in health insurance coverage that would have honestly expired 5 years after his last full season in 2020. So he really timed that perfectly, or the universe was working in his favor. So pause there, right? Like, he's not a rookie. He's not some fringe player. He's been a long time NFL quarterback who has to clock back in just to keep his health care. Okay. So hold on to that piece. Because while players are counting games like stamps on a punch card, they have to like collect these amount of years to be able to like have their health care. Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, just secured a lifetime of health insurance for his entire family as part of his
Mm.
contract extension. Right?
I hate
Reaction
that.
there. No snaps, no injury risk. He doesn't even have to freaking suit up. So same league, math is not mathing at all. And, like, I feel like we could say it's the NFL being the NFL, but if you hop on over to the NBA, similar things are happening. There are players like Gershon Yabusele of the New York Knicks, who said that he just wants to play 5 years in the league so that his family can have lifetime medical care because you never
Mm,
know what's going to happen in life. And this is a player who is not a star player, who is not getting any minutes. So he's being asked if he would want to leave the NBA to go play somewhere else so he can get minutes, right? But he's willing to stick around because in the NBA, 3 years gets you a pension, four gets you a lifetime of medical coverage, and five extends that coverage to your family. So here's a player who's played basketball his entire life who is willing to sit out and just stick around just so that he can have basic security. And then, of course, if we look at the WNBA, they're currently in collective bargaining, and healthcare is one of the biggest conversations on the table. And what we've talked about this time and time again, right? The WNBA has a shorter season, they have shorter careers, their rosters are smaller, so there's less opportunity for them to even get on a roster to have insurance. And that forces them then to go play overseas, which increases their injury risks, the wear and tear on their body. So when it comes to that league, it isn't just about perks. It's about what happens afterwards and whether or not they're able to take care of themselves. But the thing that I can't seem to shake, like this is the thing that angers me so much. Healthcare tied to employment is already flawed. Like
mm,
we'll put that on the table. But it blows my mind that healthcare in this context is being treated as a performance incentive instead of baseline like responsibility,
mm,
especially in a league built on bodies, right? And them being healthy.
yeah,
So it really, I think, shows that we care about you while you're with us, but afterwards, bye. Forget about it.
yeah.
So I really
That
I
I'm so glad we brought up this story and, uh, when we were talking about it because it's something you don't really think about for athletes and folks. And I think sometimes we can get in our head with like big athletes being like, well, they make so much money, they'll
yeah,
be fine. But there's a lot of people on those rosters that don't make
right.
that they aren't the superstars. You know, you look at the football, they have so many people on their roster. They're not the celebrity, they're not making the dough that the like head quarterbacks and star players are
Yeah.
making. And especially like it blew my mind that there's only 5 years when we know the confirmation and harm that football can cause, like
So
CTE,
many
and that knowing that a lot of those folks, like, that's not well, 1, you can't figure out that that happened until, like, post-mortem,
mortem, yeah.
but a lot of those health impacts are when they're much older and knowing that they're not on, um,
Healthcare.
healthcare and freaking Rod I despise how you feel about Adam Silver is how I feel about Roger.
Yes, feel about the all of
Well,
them the
yeah, yeah,
same.
all of
Yeah.
them, but that I think with all this, like, it feels almost, like, false them being like, "Well, we need to protect your heads and here's the new helmet, and we need to do all this protection now so that we don't have to pay for your protection later,"
Yeah,
or X, Y, and Z, and, um when people have I mean, and I think that's something very relatable that a lot of folks take I was literally just having a conversation about this, about someone not super happy in their job, but they're like, "Right now, I just view it as
I mean,
health insurance coverage." And as someone personally that, like, works for myself, having to pay for health insurance and knowing that health care subsidies is about to go, I'm like, "Cool. This
that
is this is
makes sense.
wild," and that is such a driving consideration considering these people's whole job is, like, putting their bodies on the line.
Yeah, that's literally what they
Like,
do.
that's literally it's not like, "Okay, you're working at an office, and so here's health insurance." It's like you're working and your body is the tool
Yeah,
for work, and, we might cover you, we might not cover you if you're lucky.
and I feel like it also comes down to integrity up for the league, right? If we're talking about that, if there is so much that they can gain from these athletes putting their bodies on the line, you would think that if they're not going to provide healthcare after the fact,
Mhm.
that they would at least try to ensure that the athletes are taken well care of, like during their time there. And I know that like they have all their, trainers and all of that taken care of and stuff, but it would behoove them to invest more in like preventative measures,
Mm,
like in that kind of field
yeah.
so that they can like support the longevity of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like and this ties back to the conversations we've had in the past where oh, kids are starting earlier now, like
Mm,
they're playing even harder, like
mhm.
at a younger age. And so their bodies are being worn down at an even earlier point in their lives. And so what does that mean when that's happening? And then we're removing healthcare so early after they leave the league. Like their
Yes.
bodies are going to be in more disarray.
Yes. Well, and I think this is another reminder that these organizations are money-making organizations,
Yeah.
and as much as they are looking to uplift athletes at the end of the day, the reality is they're they're looking for their profit and they're churning and burning, and some of these athletes and their minds are replaceable. When you look at injuries, like, there is not as much that foundational, let's make sure that you don't get injured. It's like, if you do get injured, how do we get you
Right.
back as fast as possible to
Yeah.
play, even if it's the detriment of your body in the long term, or you may get re-injury sooner because we're not actually caring about your body and your health. We're caring about how fast you can go back and make us money.
Yeah. Uh,
Wow. What
ugh,
a what a spicy topic that I think is important to, like, bring into focus, and I'm glad that you brought it up, Wahida. So,
yeah. I think
uh
it also ties to, I think we can talk about this another time because I would love to have Chelsea's perspective on this, but we talked about I think it's the BAFTAs, right? Or
mm,
whatever agency the actors and actresses have to
mm,
be signed
yeah,
to, like they have to be in a certain number of roles
yes,
or something to be able to receive insurance through
benefits,
that. So
yes. Because
another
wasn't
really
there
interesting.
an actress or someone that was in the news that said, "I just took this role so that I could keep my health insurance for
Yeah.
the" like, it
Yeah.
got renewed. Yeah,
So it's like that People magazine spread where it's like celebrities are just like us. They really are. Like,
yeah,
yeah, they're making way more money and their circumstances are a little bit different, but in a lot of ways we share very similar experiences,
and
which
problems.
sucks.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a wrap for our first pop Odyssey 20 I my autocorrect went crazy on this. I was like, "Okay, that's a wrap for our first episode of 2026." I think it's wild that my autocorrect corrected it to Pop Odyssey.
Well,
Like,
I mean, it is a journey.
that's a wrap for our first Pop Odyssey of
I like that.
2026. Let us know what stories you want us to feature in this coming year for future episodes in our comments on YouTube.
And don't forget, of course, to hit follow and subscribe to our show on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple, and turn on those dang notifications so you can stay up to date on all the latest stories from the sport society world.
Oh, and please rate the pod. But in the meantime, stay sharp, stay sassy, and we'll catch you later.
We'll be sharper next
We'll
time.
be